So Caitlin Clark is the most sought after player in the WNBA right now. And you could see from other teams, there are two teams, for lack of a better word, they're not tampering hard, but there are two teams doing whatever the hell they can to try to get Caitlin Clark. And those two teams are the New York Liberty and the Phoenix Mercury. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they're tampering. Oh, she's on a rookie deal. She's going to be a restricted free agent. It's for 6 to 7 years down the line. The new CBA. Do we not remember what happened? Do we not remember? There is a potential. There is an actual potential that rookie deals could be ripped up during the new CBA. Because, like, look, I'm just putting it out there. If the max contract goes from 200 grand to, let's just say, 700 grand, or 200 grand to $1 million, which it could potentially do because of the rights deal making them an extra 200 million a year, you could potentially see the max contract go up to $1 million. And these rookies are being held at 60 grand. There might be an opt-out on the spot clause in that CBA. There is a chance that the entire league effectively has the option to opt out of their contract. And you might be saying, oh, the owners won't take that. The owners don't have the leverage here. This TV rights deal is because of the players. This is where the owners don't have the leverage. These players and the commissioner has the leverage. If Indiana screw up next year, if Indiana screws up next year, I'm just saying, the commissioners, the players, could potentially just say that as of the moment of signing this, everyone has the option to tear up their contract. Like, anything can happen in the CBA. We saw it in the 90s. We saw it in the 90s in the NBA. When the NBA first got their first massive TV deal. We saw it effectively. Rookies all became unrestricted free agents. The restricted free agency wasn't even really a thing. Players were going everywhere. I think it could happen. I genuinely do think it could happen. And especially if it turns out that the Fever do terribly again. If the Fever owner is treating it like a tax write-off, if Lynn Dunn is still doing incompetent things with the Fever, and they're like, you're seeing Leah Boston and Caitlin Clark take the step up, but you're seeing absolute nonsense around them. But you're seeing it now. You're looking at the Mercury. Mercury owner Matt Ishbia. Like, if you don't think that man, like, for that man, sports are his plaything. They're his hobby. He has the money. You see what he's doing with the Phoenix Suns. And I wouldn't be that surprised if after a while, if they're not winning. Because he just wants to win. And he goes, maybe I can just get the Mercury to win. So we've seen what Joe Tsai did to the Liberty. So, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Cloud, straight up tampering. Straight up Sophie Cunningham drunk. Straight up asking Caitlin Clark to come to Phoenix. And you know what? Phoenix have got this new state-of-the-art practice facility. They're treating this like a professional sports team. The Liberty are treating it like a professional sports team. The Chicago Sky is still playing a YMCA. So you're going to be seeing these teams completely leaving teams behind. And also, the Liberty. Every chance the Liberty get, they are posting Caitlin Clark. Do you know who owns the Liberty? The best owner in the WNBA, Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai has the Liberty playing. The Liberty are packing out the Barclays Center without Caitlin Clark. With Sabrina Ionescu, with Breanna Steward. Can you imagine these two playing together? Like, yeah, you need to surround them with 5 defensive players, but if you can keep Breanna Steward, and there's a potential that there's an opt-out clause in the new CBA, there's a 0% chance that there's an opt-out clause that Caitlin Clark's staying in Indiana. And imagine if there's an opt-out and you've got Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, and Breanna Stewart. You can afford to have the 3 of them on a team. And you just say, you let Jonquel Jones go, and who knows, maybe you bring in Aaliyah Boston. As great as Jonquel Jones is, maybe you just say, you know what, just for the hype, let's bring in Aaliyah Boston. Let's bring in the 2 of them. Because Caitlin Clark, we saw it All-Star Weekend. Like, Caitlin Clark did not leave Aaliyah Boston's side for the entire weekend. So for anyone saying they don't like each other, I don't. I think that couldn't be further from the truth. But it is, I think the CBA is going to really, really, I think it's going to screw the fever. I think it's going to absolutely screw the fever. And screw the fever in a good way, because screw the fever. Like, their owner has been treating it like a tax write-off for its history. They've been cheap. They've not been a good, well-run franchise. They've been incompetently run as a franchise. And, like, it just seems the team like each other, but there's something just toxic about that organization. And it was toxic before Caitlin Clark got there, and it still is now. They're probably never going to, unless Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston will them to a win, they hire a proper coach, they're never going to win anything. But teams are tampering for a reason. Teams are doing this for a reason. They're not doing it for no reason. They're saying not they're tampering. You can see the players. These players at this All-Star weekend, like, obviously the players hang out with each other, but this felt a bit different for all of them, by the way. For all of them. This one felt a little bit different. And yeah, I just think in general that more so that I want to see it than anything, I just want to see the best basketball be played. At the end of the day, that's all I want. Like, I've been there trying to speak into existence Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark playing with each other, because I just think it would make both of them better. I think it would make Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese look better. I think Angel Reese with a player like Caitlin Clark would look absolutely unbelievable. But also, I think that Caitlin Clark with a player like an Angel Reese would look great. But I just think putting in the right players around Caitlin Clark is the best thing for the sport. Aaliyah Boston is that right player. Temi Figbenele is the right player. You just gotta you just gotta have an organization that wants to get them. The problem is that the New York Liberty are not that organization. Like, the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty are that organization. The Indiana Fever are not. Like, they looked into Tamika Catchings. They looked into Aaliyah Boston. They looked into Caitlin Clark. So, for me, it's just, it's a bit of hope, but anything can happen with this new CBA. Absolutely anything can happen. Because you might be saying that, like, the free agency, or it's like she's a restricted free agent, there's the core player rule. I genuinely think that they're going to scrap the core player rule. I think the coring rule is going to be gone, the new CBA. Every bit of leverage is on the players. The owners have no leverage in this collective bargaining, because the players could literally, we've seen it with Unrivaled. The players started their own league and are paying higher salaries. And I know it's only 30 players. It's only 30 players, which is grand. But it's only 144 players in the WNBA. If those 30 players somehow found funding, with Unrivaled doing well and the WNBA doing well, to bring it up to 80, to get funding for 80 players to pay them at that same WNBA salary, like, they could start their own league. Like, it's the one league where the players actually have the power to start their own league. Their owners aren't paying enough right now. Like, they're the only league that the players actually have the player power to leave and get more viewers, to get more money elsewhere. Like, NBA players can't just leave the NBA and get more money in a different league. There's no Saudi league of basketball. But, well, there is a Saudi league, but it doesn't pay like the football. Whereas the WNBA players, they got all the leverage.